where the transition began. This is where the transition began. If you notice, my title changed from relationship manager here to product manager. And what that meant is during this time, something spectacular happened. And that was the time I reskilled or I upskilled to have another kind of skill. So I first took a business analytics course, and I kept, pushing myself to want to learn it, and which is a course, or which is a profession in the tech industry. And again, this was 2019. Tech never blew. Tech has not blown like it has blown right now. So I took a business analytics course. It was a 2-month course from Harvard Business School back then, and it was mind-blowing. It was really, really mind-blowing, eye-opening, everything blowing, right? And I found my way back to Access Bank, and I became a product manager. Remember, I took a business analytics course. However, upon resumption, I was told to become a product manager. And, as per who I be, I can do all things through Christ. So I became a product manager in Access Bank. And from 2021, I left Access Bank and I went to InterSwitch. At InterSwitch, I continue being a product manager at InterSwitch. And sometimes mid last year, I left InterSwitch. I went to a company called Vendy's. Vendy's is a restaurant technology company here in Lagos. It's also a tech startup. And just this month, earlier in the month, I also left Vendy's, and I'm currently being a principal consultant at Techlytics. That's what that means is I consult for businesses and enterprises to help them digitize their business operations with software products. And I also teach data analytics. So basically, that is the entire journey. But before we go further, let's analyze this timeline. Who can tell me what they've seen? Looking at this timeline from 2012 to date, what do you see that is common? What do you think? What's jumping out at you that you want us to talk about, or that you believe is a lesson? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, guys. Yes, Loretta, when opportunity meets preparation, that's when you hit a jackpot. So guys, you can unmute your mic. Let's talk about what you see about this timeline, what jumped at you, maybe the number of years I spent somewhere, or just let's talk about it so we can actually relate it, we can bring it out, let it jump at you, and you can relate it to yourselves. Is anybody raising their hand? Okay, making the most of your opportunities. That's Sammy King. Okay, so Sammy, which of my experiences jumped at you that made you think making the most of opportunities? That was Sammy King. Do you want to expatiate? Do you want to expatiate? Okay, so guess. Yeah, Sammy, I said yes. So do you want to tell us more about it? So Hope says, skills acquisition is necessary for success. Exactly. You shouldn't rest on your laurels. You shouldn't rest and feel like, I've arrived, The enemy of progress is the victory of yesterday. The world and time waits for no man. You can't sit down and say, I don't become star girl, star boy. I'm not doing anything again. I want to sit down here and just enjoy it. But no, you shouldn't do that, right? So the enemy of progress is the victory of yesterday. Please, if anything, if you don't remember anything in this talk that we're going to talk today, remember this: the enemy of progress is the victory of yesterday. All right? Never be complacent or never be comfortable. All right? Continuous growth. Right. Let's read another person. The growth. All right. The growth jumped at you. Nice. You did not hesitate to take several opportunities in different companies and broaden your horizon. Exactly, follower. For me, people tell me I'm very ambitious, which is true. I am very ambitious. And it occurred to me in my 20s. One thing that basically occurred to me is I'm young, I have energy. I have to dissipate this energy. So why not now? Is it when I'm 40 that I will now start running up and down? Trust me, I have people, bosses who are 40s and in their 50s, and it is now they are trying to learn a new skill. Who wants to hire them at that particular time, except they want to do leadership position, of which in that case, it will be hard, right? So there's this adage that says, make a while the sun shines. So while you still have the energy, commit to it, right? It's a sacrifice that you will thank yourself for in the nearest future. I used to say to people, I'm going to be retiring by 40. I think this is the first public space that I'm saying it out loud. I'm going to be retiring by 40. And it doesn't mean I won't work anymore at 40. Basically means I want to be able to do life on my own terms. If I want to wake up this morning and I want to say, I'm going to Ibiza, and the next 2 weeks, I just want to be on a cruise ship. That's what I want to be able to do by 40, and let me just travel the world. And what had happened, of course, maybe in my own case, my own life experiences over the last couple of years have shaped why I think like that, right? My father, who is my favorite parent, I hope my mom doesn't get to see this video. My father passed away in 2019, and he passed away he fell ill barely a year after his retirement, which meant he worked all his life. And when he retired, he fell ill, and barely 2 years later after he fell ill, from hospital to the other and a lot of discomfort, he passed on, which meant he never got to enjoy the money or the life he's been working for. The freedom he thought he would have after retirement, he never got to experience it, right? So I made the decision that I'm never going to let that happen to me. I'm not going to work like a jackal and work, and I'm not going to rest. Then when the rest time comes, then your body gives away. No. So when that happened, I knew I was just going to sit down in my 20s or in my youthful years. I'm going to commit to working hard and getting things done, making the most of the time, right? The days are evil. The Bible asks us to redeem the time. I'm not going to apologize for that, but what I'm trying to say is we have to redeem the time when we still have that energy. We have that young blood. There's no two ways about it. Now, so Folua, thank you. I did not hesitate to take several opportunities, and I broadened my horizon. So those are the things. It's in your younger age that you're able to take silly risk, because you still have time to correct it. Even if you make mistakes, right? You have the energy. As much as possible, do not make mistakes if you can afford not to, of course, because you have to learn from people who have been ahead of you, right? As much as you can. Now, somebody said, I didn't say so long in it. That's Babatunde. Babatunde says, I didn't stay long in any of the companies. The maximum I stayed was for a year. Well, that was before my first job with Access Bank. I stayed like 4 years, guy. I tried now. So I started graduate training in 2014, and I didn't leave Access Bank until 2018. So that's about 4 years. I tried. But right from there, it was just pam, 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 pam. Another lesson in that for me and for everyone on this call is in life, life can be unfair. You must have heard it time and time again. Life can be unfair. And because it is unfair, you do not wait for life to promote you. You do not wait for life to give you what you want. You take it by force. Let me repeat that, and let me say that again. You do not wait for life to happen to you, or you do not say, oh, you deserve this, and somehow miraculously you want life to give you what you think you deserve. No, you snatch it. At times it's by violence. So you do not wait on organizations to promote you at times. There are times you just have to take it by force, by yourself, promote yourself. So this is what happens in our own industry. I'm in a bank. If I leave a bank today and go to another bank, automatically by default, I'll take the next level or the next cadre. In fact, if my negotiation skill is on fire, I'll take 2 cadres more or 3, depending on how I'm able to negotiate. But by default, you take the next cadre, which would mean you're going on another grade and you're taking more money, which your previous organization was not even ready. Your previous organization may be asking you, oh, wait another 1 year, we'll do promotion. That another 1 year that you're using to wait, you can go somewhere else. It's the same madness everywhere. Let's just go and collect more money, right? So that's the idea behind, you don't wait for life to promote you in certain situations. You decide to take it from life by itself. All right, so yes, Babatunde. So I kept evolving. How did you do it? I mean, someone who studied biochemistry and doing tech things. All right, so that's how I did it. Like, I studied biochemistry. I was looking for a job after school. I got a bank job, and at the bank I was posted to marketing, so I was always doing marketing. I didn't like it, and out of the frustration of marketing, I knew there has to be more to life than this. Don't get me wrong, marketing is a good field to be in. Some people just have the natural gift. Me, I don't have it. If you abuse me too much, it's either I start crying or I abuse you. One of the two will happen. I'm proud. So marketing wasn't just for me. Right, especially go and bring deposits, customers will get funny with you, and some would ask some on unprintable things in return, and you're wondering, this can't be my life. I can't use my body to get deposit for them. It's not my money. It's not the money I have to spend my account. When I have to give it back, no, I'm not going to do that, right? Pressure was, I wasn't friend. I just couldn't deal with, some of the pressure that comes with it. But nonetheless, I did like 6 years in the bank. So which means I did well, right? Before I left. So yes, that's how it happened. I did with a favor. And basically before it's not about the biochemistry. Again, first degree, most times, in most cases, I'm trying to choose to be careful with my words. First degree these days is basically, it's not about what you studied, really. A lot more people studied, maybe it's only usually you lawyers, you study law and you eventually become lawyers. Doctors, study medicine and they become medical doctors. Most of every other person, it's not what we study that we become, quote and unquote, right? So school these days is more, I've come to understand that schools basically is to open your mind, right? Expose your mind. And today, I don't even know the structure of a glucose. I don't even know what glucose is, right? And that's the tiniest Z molecule, whatever, that any biochemist or any biochemistry student should know. I don't know it anymore, right? So yes, I upskilled, I reskilled at some point. I wanted more, I yearned for more. Some other people still did biochemistry, and they're probably working in pharmaceuticals and all of that. It also depends on what you want in life. Yeah, so somebody said I acquired new skills and took different positions within the year gaps. That's correct, Chidima. So everything that happened was very sharp. Your course isn't related to tech, but you made the most of your opportunities and you harnessed it to become unique, and that made you spectacular. Thank you so much, Sammy King. That is it, right? Just find your, basically, it's more like find your thing, find what you feel, what you believe you can thrive in, right? God has called us to a life of abundance, and it's pertinent that we just leave it out. I mean, if God has basically put abundance in your face, don't limit yourself. Abundance can be anything. Don't get me wrong. It doesn't necessarily mean tech is synonymous to abundance. You can be in law and you're still in abundance, but whatever it is that you're doing, if you do not have that inner feeling or the inner conviction that there's abundance here, then look inwards and find your abundance. All right. Any low, I apologize. Adewumi, you said I wasn't comfortable. You weren't comfortable with small things. You went and you're still going for bigger things. Of course, thank you. Thank you for calling that out. I'm still going for bigger things because God called me to bigger things. So why would I want to play small, right? So I think we'll take this person last. Retire young, retire rich. That's the idea. Having attended lots of webinars, okay, let me read this calmly. Having attended lots of webinars recently, I got to realize the need to attach some core soft skills, some of which are paying off already. admire your success journey. I'm glad I did encourage you, Loretta, and thank you too for the kind words. Okay. Yes, you do not wait for life to happen to you. You take it by force, not what you deserve, but what you demand. Thank you, guys. Do not wait for life to promote you. Instead, you promote yourself by yourself through force. All right, it's not violence, shall you know, like somebody mentioned about soft skills. There are other soft skills that should lead you here. Things around, you don't burn bridges. If you notice, right? Let me tell you things about life. You don't burn bridges. If you notice, I left Axis Bank I first left Axis Bank in July 2018, somewhere here. And I went to Fidelity Bank from that July 2018 to December 2019. The next place I went to was Axis Bank still. That same place I left in 2018. I went back there in 2020. How is that possible? It's because I still have good relationships with people there, right? So in whatsoever you do, people are important to you. Maybe they are even your greatest assets. Only pray to have good ones in your circle, right? And also nurture the relationships we have. Do not burn bridges. It's very important. Those are little soft skills that help you through life. Okay, so let's talk about some hard facts about tech, which, I mean, most of them are already like cliche. You already know all about them. You know, media, everybody now knows that people in tech earn well, right? At least maybe not for the first year. If you're just entering tech, maybe it's not like as you're entering tech, start earning them, but at least I can say confidently that it's rewarding. Now, so you know, this first point is basically telling you the facts about tech rewards you. Job opportunities are projected to grow 13% by the year 2030. And of course, you and I would agree that this would be true because there's a lot more going on in the space, right? There will be new skills that will be required. Now we have been seeing the evolution of AI. We've seen the evolution of virtual reality, augmented reality. A lot more people do not. Why are you drawing on my slides? You know, a lot more people do not have these skills, right? Which means as we go along, as we're discovering these new technologies, we will need these skills, and it is you and I that needs to come and fill those roles. You know, there's somebody that was saying they are doing cyber security. That is very fantastic. As long as there's internet, there will always be need for cyber security analysts. As long as there will be there's software product, there will always be need for a product designer. So do not take it with levity. You've found a good ground. As long as there's software products, there's internet, there will also always be need for a tech lawyer. All right. There's projected to be 178 new tech jobs in 2022. Well, we're in 2023. If you know what, if you want to find out all of these things, just go to LinkedIn, Glassdoor, Indeed, Jobberman, search tech jobs or something. You will see how many roles and vacancies companies are advertising month on month, week on week. In 2022, there are 3.6 million job postings in tech. 3.6 million. So how many jobs per month? You can do the combination and permutation, and let's come to it. All right, so what are the things to note to secure opportunities in tech? I'm being also mindful of my time. All right, so I have put in some, questions and deep thought. I can share the slide with you at the end of the call. Some questions and some questions you need to ask yourself. Deep thoughts. What is your motivation to be in tech? I mean, people have told me, oh, I also want to earn money. I want to work from home. You have to have a genuine reason, because by the time tech you, tech will draw your blood and it can suck your blood and your waters. Now, let me tell you, so that let me give you a perfect example. Follow me. You can see my screen, yeah? So let me show you my calendar, and you can basically see how my day today alone has been. So today is 10th of June. So today is Saturday, 10th of June. So just focus on Saturday 10th. Now, in the morning when I woke up, I ran. I did like 6 kilometers. So I came back home. Okay, weekly meeting is just with a virtual assistant that I have. So I've taught a class today from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. I didn't finish that class until around 12:30 thereabouts. I jumped on another one immediately by 1 p.m. I finished that one just by 4 p.m. You can see that there's no space, and I entered here. I'm still going to have, the other ones are not on my calendar. I still have meetings by 6 p.m. So, and today is Saturday. So you can imagine what a weekday may look like. So if you do not have a good enough reason or motivation to be in tech, you will be worn out, and it could be frustrating for you. I must tell you that one in confidence. Having money, because of money, is a good reason. Wanting to work out of anywhere in the world is also a good reason. But beyond that, when the money is gone, or there are some times that money cannot buy you peace. Money cannot buy you joy. If money keeps coming in, but you're not happy, what's that other thing that would keep you going to say, oh, I'm glad I'm in tech? Is it to say, oh, I'm solving a problem for this sect of people? Or is it things around, oh, we're making the world better we're trying to make the world better by automating things that used to be difficult for people. Let me take, for example, for people or the bunch of people, I'm a payment product manager. That is, I've developed software, or I've worked in companies where we're able to facilitate payment, your quick teller app, right? So look at it from this angle, so that you're able to have a new definition of purpose, whatsoever it is that your motivation is to want to be in tech. Now, just assume you are a product manager for your Access Bank app. And by being that, or you are the software developer for Access Bank app, by being that alone, do you know how many lives rely on whatsoever code you are writing so that they would not die? Let me paint a picture. You get to the hospital, somebody just had an accident, or a mother wants to give birth, and the hospital is demanding that, oh, you need to pay deposit. And it is that instance, or maybe for 5 minutes, whatever code you wrote failed, and they cannot transfer money from their app to the hospital. What do you think may happen to that family? A life depends on it. Somebody may die. So until you've thought about it, that what I am doing right now, how does it tie to the bigger goal? How does it help people? There is no two ways about it. You're either making the world better or making the world a worse place. So if whatsoever reason that you want to be in tech, you're not able to tie it to a longer goal, take a deep breath and think about it again. Do you want to become that person that solves the problem of financial inclusion? I mean, whosoever invented the USSD, God bless their soul. There are times there is no internet, but I can just pick up my phone and you dial star this, and I've recharged my phone. That's a sense of purpose. Whosoever did that, right? So anyhow you're going to look at it, please always look at it from that perspective. What's the bigger goal? How am I connected to this bigger goal? All right. So those should be your motivations. Do you have any area that piques your interest, something that makes you tick? You can think about it. So people be like, okay, I like to design, I like colors, I like this, I like that, so I'll be a product designer. Good. You can be a brand identity designer, you can be a product designer. Fantastic. Some people are very thorough. There's nothing in this world. There's nothing in this world you can do to them. They're very thorough. If they see any stain on their bed, on their plates, they can go and wash the entire house because of it, right? You can think and ask yourself, okay, do I want to be a software tester or a quality assurance engineer? Basically, what they do is they look at whatsoever code anybody has written, right? They test it. They test every bit of it, every scenario, anything that may happen, any worst thing or any good thing, everything they test it, all right? They make sure whatsoever you have written, or whatsoever code you've written, whatsoever product you're building is built to specification. So basically think of it, ask yourself this question: what are the areas that pique your interest? Have you recognized your strength or your weaknesses? Have you recognized your strength, weaknesses, that it will naturally lead you to an area you can reskill in? For me, my area of strength, that has made me excel in product management. I have good interpersonal relationships with people. Let fire and brimstone be burning like this. I'll be calm. If you like, be yelling at me from now till tomorrow. I'll be calm. After you're done, we'll still talk of things out one-on-one. And it's a people management skill that is very crucial for product managers, because you're working with a lot of people and they don't report to you. You're working with a lot of them. You're working with software developers. You're working with product designers. You're working with marketers. They have their own different bosses, but you should be able to carry them along, bring them all together to fulfill your own purpose, to be able to build a product fantastically well. The software engineer that is going to read whatever you write for them to implement, the designer that is going to design and draw and everything, the QA that is going to test whatever it is you've written for them to test, the marketer that is going to help you carry the product to the market, all of that, right? You'll be able to have good people management skills to bring them all together. So yes, it's important that you recognize your area of strength. So you could also look at it. What is your history? What is your past? What are your past story? How can you link it to your future? All right. There are a lot more people will be like, because I am not in tech, I cannot be in tech. All the years I've spent in the working place or wherever I've worked before, it's a waste. No, it's not a waste. Take, for example, I've worked in the bank, I've been in sales, which meant I look for deposits, I've booked loans for people. I understand basic things around how bank work. That is, they take from the deficit side of the society, they take from the surplus side of the society, I beg your pardon, and they lend it to the deficit side of the society. That is, we collect your deposits, then we are able, from that deposit, we're able to lend to people who wants to collect loan. Then we'll make a gain on the loan. We'll collect interest from people that want to make loan. We can collect 20% interest from them. We'll put it here. Then you gave us the deposit, we'll give you 3%. Then we'll make life, we'll enjoy life with 17%. Those are basic stuff, right? It's basically, so little things that I've learned in banking, they were transferable skills. So your stories in the past, you cannot forget about them. So things around, what are the things to consider before you can give a loan to a customer? It's something I learned in the bank. And in the last few years, I've been able to build software products that necessarily needs us to incorporate buy now, pay later inside a software application. But because I have a basic background knowledge of loan applications that we do on paper back then in the bank, we could do it in a software product, right? It really made a lot of sense. All right, so let me quickly run. Have you identified people in the roles you want to be in, which is very important? You want to be a DevOps engineer. Are you looking forward to, are you following people who are DevOps engineers, who are excelling in their field? Are you looking at how they're taking steps? Are you sending them cold emails? Of course, there are times that not everybody will give you attention, but really, you could just go through their profile. I do it on LinkedIn myself. I'm like, okay, I want to become a board member, right? I look at, okay, I want to become a board member to a startup or I want to become a board member to an enterprise in the power industry. But I've never been in power, right? I've never been in power industry, but I love that industry. It's a gold mine. And I'm like, okay, who is a board member there? Who's been in these shoes? What are the steps they are taking? What are they doing? What kind of posts are they putting out? That is how you're able to mirror and learn. Of course, you should also be able to filter things that you don't necessarily need to learn. All right. And again, do not stop talking about it. Belong to community. Do you know how many things I've not stopped talking about? Do you know I basically exhibited this trait in this class? I've told you I want to become a board member, and I've told you I want to retire at 40. You see? And God is very wonderful. The word was created by the words of mouth. Whatsoever you proclaim becomes your reality. All right? Again, do not stop talking about it. Belong to communities. You don't know anywhere you may have spoken about it. And somebody said, I know this community now. They're always looking for product designers, blah, blah, blah. Before you know it, you find your job, right? All of the jobs I've had, I can practically tell you that I didn't apply for a single one of them. People just referred me. Oh, Taya, are you available? There's this new work here. send me your CV. I never really applied. I just sent my CV to friends, elderly friends, junior friends, whichever one, before I know it, I get the job, right? So please do not stop talking about what you want. Remember, life doesn't give you what you want or what you think you deserve. Okay, so let's quickly go. Be open to taking marketing challenges and internship work. Remember, this stage is to learn and not entirely for the money. And don't let social media deceive you. It's a lie. Run up, Bambel. All those Twitter people that they will go and tell you, hey, I cannot do internship for anybody. If they will not pay me $200 or $2,000, I'll not work for them. It's not all of them that are collecting money in dollars or running into thousands of naira. Not everybody is like that. If you truly identify that this stage is for you to learn, please, by all means, learn. Whether you want to do pro bono work, whether you want to do marketing and volunteer, I did. When I was transitioning from banking to become tech, I took a pay cut. I took pay cuts, JJ. And God is very faithful. After seeing that sacrifice, I can tell you categorically, my next job that I was taking in another company, I took multiplied by 3 or maybe like times 4. The negotiation was mad. Like, I paid my dues. They are going to give me more money. So I'm basically just trying to tell you, cook yourself, right? Where you need to learn. Do not be proud. Breaking into tech is a lot of sacrifice, especially if you currently have a job that is demanding. Well, for you, I'm not entirely sure if anybody has a job that is currently demanding right here, but you should have a roadmap, especially so for me, I was a banker. Bankers were always busy, right? But during that time still, I was taking courses. It was like I was going to go mad, but I knew what I wanted. I was taking courses, taking exams, and eventually it paid off, right? So sacrifice is the key. All right. Always have a portfolio, Andy. Now, anybody can have a portfolio. Don't even tell me you don't have a portfolio, right? No matter how little you think you've done. Some of you have you've served on boards, or I said boards, you've served in SUG, you've served in your departmental associations and all of that. Put them all together and word them well and go to site.google.com. Google will give you free sites that you will use to put together everything you have done, right? So you can have a portfolio, Andy, and I just basically listed other no-code tech career program. You can be a program manager, or a scrum master, product manager, or product owner. You can be a product designer, you can be a UX researcher or an analyst, right? You can be a quality assurance engineer. All right, so please have a portfolio ready. Let me show you what it looks like when you get home. Look at your Google interface. Come to this guy here, and you can see sites. Just open it, and it will give you template. It's just plug and play. Just be putting it there, and somebody is basically in tech. Most times, before somebody asks you for your CV, they first ask you for your portfolio. All right, portfolio is a collection of your project that you've done in the past, or how you've proved yourself in the past. You may not be able to explain them expansively in a CV because people want. So which also tells you that in tech, nobody cares about your degree. Have you been able to, can you do it? You have the skill. Nobody cares about your degree. In fact, there are some places, they don't need you to have first degree. Can you do it? Have you done it before? Finish, right? So you can see template gallery. I'll look through a lot of templates. Look through a lot of template that you find here. You can see projects. If you've done some projects, so have a portfolio project. You will see a lot of templates that you can have. You see portfolio, so you can open a portfolio template and edit it to your own taste, right? So you can say, hi, my name is, you can see, just do you, and do not forget excellence. You should not give anything short of excellence. You're called to be an excellent person, and do not leave short of that. Do not leave short of that dream. All right, so that brings me to the end of my presentation for you today. And thank you for having me. I'll be happy to take questions, comments, and every other thing in between. Let me read
Thank you very much, for this very insightful session. I mean, I'm going home with a watchword to upskill, to reskill, and to want more and to yearn for more. So, I mean, thank you very much for this wonderful, insightful session. And I don't know, I've written a whole lot here, but then before I ask my own question, let me ask the questions that we have in the chat box. Someone said, Ma, is copywriting a tech skill?
Okay, that's Adewumi. All right, thank you. Copywriting cuts across every industry. All right, you can be a copywriter and you're writing social media copies, or you're writing copies for an advertisement, or you could be writing copies for a website, right? And that's when it becomes techy, right? You could even be a UX writer. That is, you're writing the copies you see inside the phone. So you open your Piggyverse, or which app do you use? Let's say WhatsApp. Almost everybody uses WhatsApp. This Zoom that we're all using, all the copies you see inside a product, a UX writer writes it, right? Most times copywriters become UX writers too, right? You can be a copywriter and you're writing content for a website. So yes, it's copywriting cuts across every industry.
Okay, thank you very much, Ma.
Okay.
I have another question here. Can you explain LinkedIn as an app, the advantage and how different it is from other apps?
Adewumi, what would most likely help you is to first download the app and go and be, it's free. Just go and be working around it. It's a free app. It's a free app for professionals. So as you think Facebook and Instagram for social media and taking pictures and keeping and catching up with friends, LinkedIn is like that. So you're catching up with professionals and you're putting out your face and voice out there to your professional network.
Okay, thank you very much, Ma. Charles is asking that, how can I build my interest in tech? Most especially now that I'm opening up to HIT. I think I'm a co-host to this question. We are both asking that question together. How can I build my interest in tech now that I'm opening up myself to HIT?
Okay, so I'll give some form of witty answer to that. It's more like you're saying, how can I build up my interest in food? Is there somebody that doesn't like food? It just happens by default. You shall eat, shall. You know the chop. However, again, not everybody would be in tech, and it's not a sin. But for you to be asking this question, it means you have an interest. So, okay. I mean, I hope my brother doesn't see this video also. I also tried to make him want tech. I even enrolled him in tech school. And like last, the guy just told me 2 weeks or like last month, like, he did not pass his exam one, he's not doing again. And I'm like, okay, no problem. And that is it. It is fine, right? Not everybody would be in tech. Not everybody. However, if you have interest in tech, you need to be able to, again, the word tech has been bastardized, is so wide. You need to be able to figure out what exactly do you like in tech. Trust me. What exactly do you like about tech? Is it that, you like to help people solve, or when people are saying, I'm trying to load a website, it's not loading, and it's, it frustrates you and you want to try to see what is the problem and you want to help them solve it. If there's barely any way I can tell you or on how you can build your interest in tech. Seriously, it's innate, it's inbuilt.
All right, thank you very much, Ma. I have a question here that says that, sorry. Okay, I can't see that question now. Let me just take this one. What kind of tech skill would you advise a law student or law graduate to acquire?
Okay. I think the question you were looking for is, how best can an undergraduate combine learning tech skills and academics? Greg, that's Greg. Greg, but I thought you were already learning cybersecurity or something. Was that Greg? I can't remember who exactly. However, now, Greg, can you unmute your mic? Let's quickly do a test. If you can unmute your mic.
Yeah, he can't unmute. I think he's muted by the host.
Okay. Now, the question I wanted to ask him is, do you have WhatsApp? Do you have Facebook? Do you have Instagram? Do you have Telegram? Do you have access to these things? Do you use them?
Yes.
The question,
Yes.
the answer will be yes, right? However, why would you now say you wouldn't be able to blend learning tech skills and academics? It's foul. You would be able to. Do you have YouTube? I'm sure some people would say yes. They watch movies. That same YouTube is where myself, I learn things there. So it's a matter of priority. What do you want to prioritize right now? Do you want to prioritize learning and give yourself like, I want to commit 3 months, these next 3 months to my education and my learning, and trust me, you can do it. There's nothing like, oh, I don't have time. You have time. It's just that you're not paying attention at all times. You always have time. It just basically means at the back of your mind, you have decided what is more priority to you per time. So there's always time. We can always create time. I'm sure you're not reading in law school 24 hours a day. If it is only 1 hour, you can commit to watching a YouTube video of the tech skill you want to learn. That would do. By the end of the month, you would have done 31 hours. And that's fantastic. All right. So it's possible.
Okay, ma. Another person is asking, can an undergraduate start with only the use of phone when learning tech skills?
Yes, that's correct. Again, I just made an example of using YouTube. So that's possible. And there are other, what's it called? There are other edtech platforms that you can download their application. I also teach Microsoft Excel. I have tutorials online. So, I mean, if in fact, a lot of these things are free. So people really don't have excuse. If you're committed to it, you can get it, right? You can learn on YouTube. You can even just Google. Let's say you want to learn product design. You could just say where to learn product design for free. Google will give you everything. ChatGPT will give you. So there's no excuse. Please, let's go ahead.
All right, ma'am. Please, can you explain some jobs available in tech space?
That's a lot. There are a lot of jobs. So how much of the jobs would I explain by
just a few, ma'am.
Some jobs available in the tech space. Okay. So you have product design, you have cloud engineering, you can be a data analyst. So I'm trying to understand how to explain them. You can be a data analyst. Data analyst basically means you can make sense of large amounts of data, and you can analyze it and basically draw meaningful decision from them, and you can make your recommendations to management or the decision maker or the business owner so that they can make better decision with their data. Let me put that, for example, let me bring it home. You could say a supermarket that uses what's this now? Loyalty point. There are some supermarkets you go, they give you a loyalty card. I'm trying to see what is very common around. They give you a loyalty card, and at the end of the month, they can basically have an idea of how many people have they given loyalty cards to. Of these people, what is the average amount of money they come and spend? What's the average amount of money they come and spend in their shop? They can easily know that some people are not really using their loyalty card because they are not using it at the checkout point. And if you understand what I'm saying about loyalty cards or loyalty points, raise your hand. Anybody? Okay, I think loyalty card is a terrible example. So you work in a wine shop, or your mom owns a wine shop, and depends on maybe your mom usually records the sales of her wine or the sales of Coke, the sales of Fanta and all of that. Even as with a tool as common as Microsoft Excel, you can help her put that in a spreadsheet application like Microsoft Excel and be making sense of it. Okay, this month we sold more Coke than Sprite. And you now realize that month on month, that is consecutively over the months, the sales of Sprite has been reducing. You can basically make decisions around that. Mommy, why don't we? And you now see that you have plenty stacks of Sprite unsold, right? Mommy, can we just stop ordering Sprite for now? Let's order more Coke. Or you can come up with initiatives like, okay, can we just do like a combo deal? Combo deal, like buy one Sprite and buy 2 Cokes and 1 Sprite for the same price, or something that will make the Sprite that is on ground to move. That is basically, now you're basically applying your, because you've seen the numbers, you're basically applying your data analytics skills and you're using it to make business decisions. So yes, that's data analyst. You can become a product manager. But if we want to dwell on that, there is a lot of explanations that I can do. You can become a software engineer. There are a lot of explanation, but I'll just leave it at data analytics.
Thank you very much, man. We have just 2 more questions. It says, what tech skill would you advise one to consider that doesn't involve coding?
Okay. I kept some of them there in that slide. Noah, you may want to share with them later. You can be anything, really. You can even be a tech lawyer. You can, because tech is wonderfully funny. I'm aware. So I can have an idea and I could have shared it with somebody before you know it, somebody that is working with me steal the idea and go, you have things around IP protection, you can, and you really easily cash out, right? There are things around, you review agreements, people are raising funds from investors, we need lawyers. Trust me, a lot more people are just floating companies without the proper guidance, right? So you can be a tech lawyer too. You can be a tech lawyer in the sense that there are some applications that the end users that you're building them for, it will require those end users to be putting, what's it called now? It will require those end users to be putting proprietary information in that app. How do you, as the tech lawyer of that company, want to make sure that you cover your site? So let me give you an example. If I'm a chef, let's look at Coca-Cola. Everybody today, we are saying that nobody knows the formula for Coca-Cola and all of that. It's a proprietary, that is proprietary information. It's unique to Coca-Cola. Do you agree with me?
Yes, ma'am.
You know how many people that will be gathering that kind of information? So let's now assume you need to build a software for chefs or cooks. And that software will require them to input the recipe for some of their meals. The recipe will be saying, now only them sabi, it's only them that knows it, or it's the recipe could be that it's only them that knows it, or it's a recipe that has been in their family for years or forever. Now, that chef, I want to develop that application, if I don't have a tech lawyer that will help me put all those necessary things together, all those agreements, all those terms and conditions together, I may run into troubles with that particular chef in the future. What if the data gets leaked somehow? Maybe my developer is just a dubious person, or they did not do the code work. Somehow the recipe leaked. They will come and sue me as the person that owns the software product. So you see where you can come in as a tech lawyer now. So there are a lot of things, right? Which other question do we have?
Yes, I think this should be the last one. To learn tech skill, do we have to be necessarily very good in ICT? I think you've answered this with some of the questions. To learn tech skill, do you have to necessarily be very good with ICT? Okay, someone is asking, what is the difference between UI and UX design? That's the last question.
Okay, I'm trying to scroll to the question. That's Babatunde. Babatunde, please unmute your mic. What do you understand that by UI and what do you understand by UX? So it will help me understand how to answer your question. Maybe I have to start from explaining what those are. Please be fast about it.
Vanguard Babatunde, are you there?
Okay, let me help.
Okay, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Okay, can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think UI is user interface and UX is user experience. I think UI is more about designing the interface where the three toggle buttons will be. I think my network is rugging. And I think I'm not sure about the user experience, the user experience part of it. I'm just so much sure about I'm just a bit sure about the user interface part of it.
Okay. All right. I'm glad you have a fair understanding. So both of them go hand in hand. It's not enough to see the interface where you can see the blue and you can see the purple button and you can see the hamburger, blah, blah, blah. It is fine to see the UI, the interface is good to see, but the experience is also much more important. And that's one thing that product designers do. The experience is much more important. So for example, if I want to, you can imagine you want to launch or you want to use your WhatsApp, and before you can access the status section of your WhatsApp, you have to press like 7 buttons before it opens the status page. What's that experience like? It's frustrating. Or you're already used to seeing the menu. Let me share my screen. Sorry. I've stolen your time, Noah. Can I share the screen? Can you see my screen?
Yes, ma, I can see it.
So let's look at it. Let's look at something very important. So this is I'm on a app, and you can see the menu button. That is everything I want to do on this app is on this side. And most times, most applications on the web, we can even open like few of them. Most times, most applications on the web, whatever you want to do within that application is on your left-hand side. Let's open another one. I think there's a Microsoft. No. Okay, let's open this Google. You can see majority of the things I want to do is on the left. The majority of the menu items is on the left, correct? Let's look at one more thing. Then I will now show you another product. Then I'll put their one on the right. And that thing is always frustrating for me, which means their user experience is not fantastic. So it's the job of the product designer to understand how the human mind thinks, to research. And it's not about, oh, I designed something very beautiful. The experience also has to be seamless. It also has to be quick. So we've seen two there. Let me open this other product. I use the product, but just so you can see. So here, let me go to the home page. And instead of the left that I'm used to, that normal people are used to, they put their own on the right. So they put it, I have to click it on the right, then I have to come to the left. What do you think of that kind of product? But it's working. The product is working fine, fantastically well. However, I'm just trying to tell you the difference between UI and UX, small things about the experience of, oh, okay, I tapped this button, but when I tapped this button, I was hoping that it will open this page, but it didn't open the page. It now opened another page for you to put password. You're already frustrated as a user. So that's the user experience bit of things. Do you understand?
Thank you very much, Ma, for this wonderful session. I mean, you're able to answer all our questions brilliantly. And to start with, the way you started the session with your life experience and, how that we need to upskill, we need to reskill, we need to want more, and we need to yearn for more. And so I believe that many of us, you also told us that it's in our younger age that we can take silly risk. So I believe that many of us would make beautiful use of this. Can we appreciate our speaker in the chat box? Thank you very much, Wa, for this wonderful session. And we hope that if we invite you again for any of our programs or meetings, that you will honor our invitation. We really learned a lot from you. Thank you very much, Wa.
Thank you. Thank you too.
Yes,
thank you, Babatunde. You're welcome. You're welcome, Babatunde. Thank you, everyone, and thank you too. Bye.
All right. So let me take a brief announcement from the Vanguard Africa. We want to appreciate every one of you for making our time to join today's session. We trust that it was a value for your time. The Undergraduate Congress continue next week by 4 p.m. Our guest speaker for next week is Destiny Ogedegbe, and he will be discussing academic exploits. So this is not limited to only undergraduates, and it's opportunities. It is structured like question and answer. It's a question and answer section, like I think the way we did today. It was not really more of a teaching. She started with asking few questions and all. So it's going to be a question and answer section where you ask the facilitator question, and the facilitator will have to answer your question. So come prepared. Academic exploits and its colossal opportunities. So if you have any question for Destiny on being an outstanding student, on international opportunities, working in a top tier firm, being a Harvard alumnus, don't miss next week for anything. And I also want you to invite your friend. Don't be selfish. Don't be the only one that will benefit from this. Invite your friend in the course of this week that there's something happening next week, Saturday by 4 p.m. And I want you to let them register for this undergraduate congress so that they can be a beneficiary of it. In addition, please follow all our social media handles. Twitter, the Vanguard Africa, Instagram, the Vanguard Africa, LinkedIn, the Vanguard Africa, and YouTube, the Vanguard Africa. Please follow all our social media handles. I don't know if Vanguard Babatunde can help me drop the social media handles in the chat box so that they can quickly follow our social media handles. So thank you very much for joining today's session. It was great having you, and thank you to our facilitator for making out time to enlighten us and teach us about the opportunities available in tech for us. See you next week, same time, 4 p.m. Please invite your friends. Have a nice evening. Bye.